guys, my name is Chantel. Welcome back to my channel and thanks for hanging out with me today. So, oh boy, I feel like this is gonna be one really long video. I just needed to kind of get my feelings out now that I've had a little bit of time to kind of collect my thoughts and tell you guys how I'm feeling. So this video is gonna be basically me, as you guys can see by the title, just me talking about my experience seeing Mamoru Miyano at Anime Expo. I did not get to meet him in person, obviously, like face to face, and tell him like thank you so much for like everything you do. That would have been awesome, but at the same time would not be good for my heart because I know that I probably would have passed out on the spot and probably scared him off. The fact that he didn't do autographs at Anime Expo was great because, like I said, I didn't want to scare him off by me fainting on the spot. Yeah, it sucks. Like, who wouldn't want to meet Mamoru Miyano and have the chance to tell him, thank you? But all in all, like, I really don't mind. I was just very happy that I was able to see him on the stage and just get excited about him with other people around me. Where do I start with this video? I really don't know how to start this. I guess I can start off by like telling you guys just why Mamoru Miyano means so much to me, because this man means a lot to me, you guys. I tried to do this video like several times, but every time that I try to do it, I always end up crying my eyes out. And I guess the reason why I end up crying is because like I finally got to see him, moving around in person, like right in front of my eyes. Like I got to see him. I guess point being, what I'm trying to say is I guess it just hit me when I finally got back home and like sat here and was like, oh my god, I actually saw Mamoru Miyano. So I guess, it was just me being overwhelmed by all these feelings now that I'm like out of Anime Expo. I'm like, it's just me and my own thoughts. So yeah, going back to what I was saying, let me just go ahead and give you guys just a little bit of a summary of why I absolutely love Mamoru Miyano and why he means so much to me. I discovered Mamoru Miyano probably around the same time when I really started to get into anime, and the way that I discovered who this man was is because of Rin from Free. His performance really blew me away as Rin, and I really wanted to get to know more about the person that was voicing one of my favorite characters from one of my favorite series. So I was like, you know what? Let me dive in and see what else this man has done and see like what other characters he's voiced. And that basically just led me to like this big old deep rabbit hole where I was just kind of like looking through all the stuff. I saw that he did music. I saw his music videos. I also saw like other anime that he was in. But the main reason why I discovered that he did music is because I remember like looking up on YouTube and like all of a sudden like Rin's character song popped up and I was like, oh, let me give this a listen. And it was like the most beautiful thing I ever heard. I remember I was just kind of shook and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. And that led me to looking into more of Mamoru Miyano's music. And that's when I discovered that he had just released his single, I think it was Break It, and I listened to that and I was so blown away. I remember feeling like I don't know, I feel like it was like such an eye-opener, and I was just like, whoa, like this man can do it all. Like he's voicing characters, he does music, and he does concerts. Like what is there that he cannot do? I was just so impressed by this man that like that whole day, I remember I just like sat through and looked through like music videos, his music, and I was just like digging, and I was like, let me see what else I can find on the internet. And sure enough, I got hooked on his music, and his music is very great. If you guys haven't listened to his music, I definitely recommend you guys checking it out. But yeah, put it simply, I was just like into like this big old mess where I was just like discovering who this man is, and I regret nothing. Which at the time when I was discovering more about Mamoru Miyano and like listening to his music, during that time of my life I was really going through it. It was such a crappy time in my life, but Mamoru Miyano's music and his characters definitely like gave me like this bit of happiness where I was just like stuck in a rut and just really going through it emotionally, because like I said, I was really going through some stuff, some personal stuff, and it was just not a good time. Which honestly, like, I can tell you guys, like, I really don't remember too much of that part of my life because it was such a bad time. The only thing I remember is that the one bit of happiness that I did have and the moments of joy that I did have in my life were because I would be listening to Mamoru Miyano's music or watching an anime where he was like the main character. So yeah, like, he came at a right time. Like, his music, his characters came at a good time where I really needed it, where I desperately needed a smile and a really good laugh, which Mamoru Miyano definitely makes me laugh a lot, especially watching his little skits and clips out there that I've seen and like little videos that he's done. Like, it's like, Mamoru Miyano is such a goofy person, and like, if you see his videos and see his live performances, like, you can definitely tell that, like, he's such a goofy person. He's very dorky but also very kind and humble. You can definitely tell that. And like, anytime I watch anything, like for example like his lives or his music videos, I don't know what it is, but he always has like this infectious energy where you just can't help but smile. At least that's how I feel whenever I watch him perform or even hear him voice a character that I absolutely love. Like, I always end up with like the biggest smile on my face. That's all I really have to say. I think I've kind of rambled on a little bit too long, and I'm really sorry about that. It's just I want to let you guys know like how I discovered him and like why he's such an important part of my life. It's just because I feel like just seeing his performances, whether it's his characters or his music videos, his music, like, it just brought such a positivity in my life that I just cannot thank Mamoru Miyano enough for. Because I think if I'd never discovered him, I'd probably be very depressed still and not know like what I wanted to do, like, moving on forward. I don't know. Am I making any sense? But anyway, I guess that's enough about that. Let's just go ahead and talk about now, finally, what you guys have been waiting for. Just my experience seeing him in person, because oh my gosh, for the longest time now, it was pretty much one of my goals, my dreams, on my bucket list, whatever you want to call it, where I wanted to see Mamoru Miyano, whether it was like for an event or like his concert. Specifically his concert, because his concerts seem like they're like the most amazing thing ever to see, and I want to be a part of that crowd someday. But I knew that was never gonna happen unless I traveled to Japan. And even then, I don't know how to like get a ticket and stuff like that. Like, I don't know how all this works, you know? So I was like, man, there's no way that I'm gonna see this man perform or like see him in real life. And flash forward to now, at Anime Expo, I actually got to see Mamoru Miyano, and oh my gosh, here's where I start to get emotional. So sorry if I end up sounding like very emotional, or if I end up bursting into tears. I'm really sorry about that. I'm gonna try my hardest to not do that. But when he came out for the Human Loss panel, because that is like his first panel of the day at Anime Expo, you guys, the minute that they said Mamoru Miyano's name, like, we all went nuts in the crowd. But the minute that I saw him walk out, oh my gosh, I was so excited. I remember screaming at the top of my lungs, and for a moment I actually don't remember exactly what happened, but I could feel myself like blanking out for a little bit, and I was like, holy shit, okay, maybe I should like calm down a little bit and like relax, because I just did not want to faint and be like that awkward person that fainted during a panel. That would have been embarrassing. But like, I guess all my excitement and all these emotions, just seeing him in person, like really got to me in that moment. So like I said, I'm really glad that I calmed down a little bit. I was just like, okay, I need to take a breather. And on top of that, like I did not eat anything prior, like breakfast wise. Like I had like just these little peach candies that I was eating. So yeah. Hopefully that kind of like explains why I was just kind of like, whoa, like I could feel myself getting a little dizzy. So I was like, oh, maybe I should like calm down a little bit. And after I calmed down a little bit, like I could feel myself regain myself a little bit. And I was just like, oh my gosh, he's here. And like I would just look at him, and I remember just being like just so happy and so excited. My heart was pounding really, really fast, and I was shaking so bad. Like it almost looked like I was freezing cold because of how badly I was shaking. I remember like going to Mia and being like, look, like I'm really shaking really badly. Like this has never happened to me before. And like she just like grabbed my hand and she was like, girl, I got you because I'm shaking too. So like during the human loss panel, we were holding hands, and like I could definitely feel myself shaking a lot. So, but honestly, like, thank God for Mia for being there, because like she definitely helped me calm down a little bit while I was shaking. But seeing him in person, and the minute that he started saying, you know, good morning everyone, I'm so happy to be here, like I was just like, oh my gosh, he's talking in English. Like I was very excited. Like anything the man would do, I would get excited. And the crowd, oh my gosh, the crowd was feeling just the same way as I did, because anything the man would do, we would go nuts. Like he would just wave, we would go nuts. He would do hearts, we would go nuts. He would start talking in English, we would go crazy. You know, stuff like that. Like I remember someone on Twitter said he could easily just breathe and be there, and we would all go nuts. Which was kind of amazing to be a part of a crowd like this, of, you know, such a big crowd that loves and knows about Mamoru Miyano. Like it was so insane, but so incredibly awesome to be a part of this crowd too. Like it was just so amazing, you guys. Like I cannot stress that enough. I know they live streamed the human loss panel, so if you have seen that, then you guys can see and hear our reactions. Like we were just going nuts for Mamo. But it's a huge deal because this is Mamo's first appearance at Anime Expo. He's never done anything like this. Like yeah, he's visited LA before, but he's never done anything like this. So I think doing this, he realized just how big of a fan base he has here internationally, and you can kind of see that in his face. Like you could see like he was just very, very surprised and a little bit shocked, because like his reaction, he was just like, oh my god. Like you can see it in his face. He was just like, oh my god, like this is kind of like bizarre and like insane, and like you can tell like he was just very blown away and very, very happy by the crowd's reaction. Like I don't think he expected this at all. And he was just overall very, very, very happy. And I remember someone on Twitter said that he said sugoi, which I didn't hear that at first, but when I watched the human loss panel, I heard it and I was just like, oh my gosh, like it just like, oh my gosh, it's like the little moments like that that just make this whole experience even better, because you can tell like he was just so happy to be there. And I think our reactions, he definitely felt the love. Like you can definitely see it. Like he was just so like happy and smiling ear to ear. But I will say in the human loss panel, he was a little bit more professional. So I definitely think that maybe he might have been a little bit nervous. He didn't know what to do. He was just like, oh my gosh, like, wow. But Mamoru Miyano was very, very cute. It was so adorable to see his smile and see like how tall he is in real life, because the man is very, very tall. But it was so fun to see him, and like during the human loss panel he did like these choking noises, and the reason why he did those choking noises is because he was explaining like stuff that he did for the movie, like yeah, just yeah. I don't want to say too much about the movie without spoiling it, those of you that want to see Human Lost. But you can tell Mamo was definitely very, very happy and just like trying to figure out like, okay, what do I do? And then when they would speak in English, he would just kind of like nod his head and be like, like it was just really, really cute. Hearing him laugh too was like even now, like I'm getting emotional just like remembering his laugh, and like hearing it in person is just like it was great. he did talk to us for a little bit during the Human Loss panel. Basically what they did was like, they talked about the movie and stuff and how he got into this role and stuff and like that, little things like that. It was really interesting overall. And like I said, it was really fun to hear Mamo talk, and I really liked seeing him, you know, just fanboy over Emplo. It was like the cutest thing ever. Very, very Mamo-like. It was just, oh my goodness, like it was so great. And then once they finished the little talk that they had with Mamo, Emplo, and like the other people that were there, I got sad that he left. I was like, no, but at the same time I remember I was like, it's okay, I'll see him again at the Uta pre-panel. So we got a little bit more time with him. We got a little bit more time. But yeah, that was basically it with the Human Loss panel and my experience with it. It was really, really good overall. It was great and fantastic. I really enjoyed it. So I guess moving on to seeing him in the Uta pre-panel. I'm not going to talk about Terashima because like I said, this video is just basically just me talking about Mamo and my experience seeing him. But if you guys are curious to like know more about the Uta pre Q&A and Terashima himself, go watch Mia's video. We sat down and talked about the Uta pre panel and the movie for a little bit, and we talked about Mamo and Terashima. So yeah, it's just us talking about it at our Airbnb, and we experienced our first earthquake, which is kind of scary because we're from Texas and we don't get earthquakes in Texas. But if you guys want to hear like our initial thoughts on it, go check out her video. I will put a link down below, and I will be also towards my end card. But with that being said, let's go ahead and just talk about Mamo. So in the Uta pre-panel, I will say he was a little bit more himself. He just felt like more loose and let go and more like silly and dorky, because Mamo, oh my gosh, he really went above and beyond like during this panel. I mean, we got to see his famous hip thrust, which I didn't think we would ever see, but the fact that he decided to bless us with this fantastic and iconic hip thrust was everything I could have imagined. And I didn't see the second hip thrust. I know he did it twice because I could see it through the corner of my eye, but like the first time he did it, like I was just freaking out and like in my own little world at that time, and I was just like, oh my god, did that really just happen? I was like freaking out, and I was just like so excited. I remember like I wanted to stop my feet. Like I was just like so excited. I was just going like, ah! I was just so incredibly excited, and I could not believe he did that. And in that instant that he did that, I remember, I don't know if it was from all the excitement or what, but like I started feeling hot, and I was just like, oh my gosh. So I was going like this like a lot because your girl was feeling hot. And then we also got a little bit of taste of like hearing him sing, which was so awesome and so beautiful. When I heard him like singing one of the songs for a little bit, I was just like, oh my god, oh my god. Like I was freaking out because I was just like, oh my god. Like I got a little bit of a taste of hearing him actually sing live. Like it was just for a few seconds, but those few seconds were enough to make me go nuts. Oh man, like it was so great and fantastic. Like seeing Mamo with his live performances and like seeing his music videos and interviews he's done, like seeing like all the stuff, like if you've seen all of that, that's basically what you got at the Uta pre panel. Like he was just everything I knew he was and more. He was just so humble, so kind, and so silly and dorky, and just everything he did was very Mamo and very extra, because Mamoru Miyano can be a little extra sometimes, and I love that about him. Oh man, the man is just such a joy to be around, and like he just, like I said, his smile and his laugh is just so very infectious. You just can't help but smile with him and laugh with him, and like it's so great and amazing. And like anything that he did, like I remember we would all like go nuts and crazy, and like even when he did little cute things, like we would all be like, oh, like it was just amazing. So to be part of a crowd like this was just even better, because I just love that I was able to freak out with my fellow Uta pre fans and Mamo fans together and just, you know, cry over Mamo. Oh man, because Jesus, the man is everything you expect him to be when it comes to a panel. Like he's just everything you can imagine. He's just, like I said, so humble, so kind, and very dorky, and it's just, Like, this experience I will always treasure and hold dear and near to my heart, especially because, like I said, Mamoru Miyano means a lot to me. So to be able to experience this and see him in person was just everything. And see like his dorkiness, see his little smile, and just, I cannot stress that enough. Sorry if I'm not going too into detail about talking about like what happened in the panel. It's just like I said, we do talk about that in Mia's video, so I don't want to dive into too much. But yeah, I just want you guys to feel like what I'm feeling right now. Just think about it. Hopefully you guys can see that. But yeah, like overall my experience seeing Mamoru Miyano was really, really great. I wish I would have stayed for the third panel, but I didn't because I was just hungry, and I knew if I stayed I would probably pass out. I had like my little bags of chips there with me and my water, but like I was so hungry, my stomach was growling. I was like, girl, you need some food in your system. And then like my head was like pounding really badly too at that point. I was just like, okay, we need to like get out of here and get some food. Like, I would love to stay here and be for Mamo, but like I already saw him twice. I can't be too greedy at this point. But I heard the third panel was just as amazing, and I wish I would have stayed. Like, I regret not staying. Like, now I'm like, damn it, I wish I could have held it in, like, my hunger just a little bit longer. I got to see him at least for the Human Lost in the Uta Free panel, and that's all that matters, is that I was able to see him at least. But yeah, overall, like, Mamo is just a very, very humble and kind human being. He has such a beautiful soul. I feel like I always say that every time, but it's just, he really does. Like, I just don't know how to explain it. He's just so humble and so kind, and you can like definitely feel that and see it, especially like during the panel. You could definitely feel it and see it. Like, it was just the best thing ever, and I will, like I said, I'm gonna treasure this forever and continue to talk about this until I die, because oh my gosh, like, it was just everything I expected it to be and more. Even after this panel, it just made me love him and it just makes me want to support him even more. And there was one thing that he said during the What's a Pre-panel where he was like, you know, I hope you guys continue to support me and the characters that I will voice in the future and stuff like that. And I was like, you got it, man. Like, I love you, so like I will always support you. But like Mamoru Miyano's characters, they always end up being my favorite. So if he's like in an anime and I see that he's in it, I'm like, I see a new favorite character. I smell my favorite character. But yeah, it's just Mamoru Miyano always delivers some amazing performances when it comes to his characters. Like, the man can like really deliver, especially when there's like an emotional scene. Like, he will make you cry. Like, he will move you to tears because of how amazing he is at that. Anyway, I'm rambling on a little bit too much about Mamoru Miyano, but yeah, I mean, this video, that's basically what I wanted to do with this video, was just talk about him and tell you guys my experience seeing him in person, and just tell you guys why I love him, why I will continue to support him, and why I think you guys should support him too, because he's awesome. He's such an amazing voice actor. I cannot stress that enough. He's just, the man is a legend. But yeah, I hope that this experience, seeing his international fans and seeing like how loved he is and how loved Utapri is, he was able to feel that, and I hope that this gives him a chance to, you know, want to come back. I know he did say that he does want to come back, so I'm really glad that, you know, we made this such a wonderful experience for him that he will probably never forget, and I'm really happy that I was able to be a part of that crowd. I guess that's all I really have to say when it comes to Mamoru Miyano. I know I rambled on for quite a bit, and I hope you guys don't mind. This video is probably going to end up being really, really long, and I'm really sorry about that, but I hope you guys enjoyed hearing me ramble on about Mamoru Miyano. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!